There are seagulls fighting on the roof.
Oh, one of them has a burger. That makes a little more sense.
Oh, there's more. Okay. Anyway. Hi. You'll notice that I am not at my usual desk. I know we're all surprised. I had therapy this morning, and so we're running a little more tight on time because I also didn't do my laundry. So, welcome to Kalista Chats while she does her laundry. Yay! This is terrible lighting. Is that better? Oh, no, it's not. Does that work? No, that's gonna work. Okay. Hi, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm so sorry this is the first video that you're watching. Basically, my name's Kalista. Welcome to the channel. I am a freshman in college, and this channel is me reclaiming my life from my... I almost remembered my tripod and then forgot it. So this is what we get. Anyway, my name is Kalista. I am a freshman in college, and this channel is me reclaiming my life from the mental health struggles I've been enduring my whole life. And so this video, I had some ideas. Also, this is my favorite thing to say every video, is I had ideas and then we're not following them. I had ideas, we're not following them. So what I have been kind of trying to do is find more joy in my life. I don't even know where I want to go with this. Usually I have my script in front of me with everything I want to say, but like I said, we're running short on time, so you get me doing my laundry this week. How lucky are you? Finding more joy in my life. I think I need to find more ways to have joy, because I've been realizing at the end of my life, no one is going to look at my resume, no one's gonna look at my LinkedIn profile, no one's gonna ask other people oh, how successful were they by society's qualitative metrics. Everyone's gonna be like, what stories do they have to share, and what experiences they have, and how kind of person were they. People remember the impact that you have on other people's lives. And so I want to start prioritizing that and not prioritizing kind of the competitive nature of a lot of society's values, which gotta grab towels. There's a violent amount of laundry this week, so I did break my laundry backpack last week. The laundry I have. Winter's so cold though, so I have to wear sweatshirts every day. I hate it. Anyway, I am fresh out of the college application process, which is, I could go on and on and on about the college application process, but one thing that emerged from it is this incredibly competitive nature. And I think two things to that. One, I've been diagnosed with OCD, and I think that is kind of when it started, is when I really started to, it was always kind of there a little bit, but it was amplified to the point of a diagnosis during that time. And that is, there is so much energy and pressure put on perfection. And it's exhausting because nobody can be perfect, and it completely disregards who you are as a person, because again, you're just competing against all these other people for certain accolades that only work in the application process. So, and this is where I can start just getting confusing and hypocritical and XYZ, but it's important to work hard in life and to strive for achievement and do really, really great things that you're capable of doing, but not at the sacrifice of your own happiness. And I was sacrificing everything I possibly could to succeed. I would neglect plans, I would neglect people, I would just work myself to the bone, because that was the entirety of who I was. And that's something my therapist has told me many times, is I just reduced myself to this one component of who I am as a person. I've just reduced myself to academic success, which is, again, it's important to be successful academically, but I wouldn't have achieved, like, I probably would have achieved more success in my life if I hadn't been so worried all the time and been so stressed all the time. And anyway, the college application process, it is just exhausting because you're competing against people through this incredibly narrow lens of academic achievement and kind of that whole, I say academic, we kind of know what I mean as far as the, like, what makes an application for college successful, the volunteer hours, the, like, working in a nonprofit, just stuff like that. And I'm not trying to say, like, anyone who gets into a good, successful college is, like, they've just disregarded, like, everyone in life and they're terrible people. It's like they have obviously earned that achievement. That is a really, really difficult thing to do, to get into these really fantastic colleges and these really fantastic opportunities. But it's done so much easier through passion. And I think that's kind of what I've been trying to do in these past few videos, is like, what gets me excited, what makes me passionate, what makes me want to have my, like, successes kind of just a stepping stone on my way to something larger, where even if I don't get, like, a congrats or recognition or anything like that, like, I'm still gonna pursue what I'm pursuing. There's kind of that tangent, I guess, if you want it. Recognizing how, like, my life is so much more than just academics. And it's like, I always hear people say, like, oh, well, when I was in college, it was a really great time. I hung out with a lot of friends. I met a lot of new people. And I'm like, well, how did they possibly have time for that? And it's like, I would have the time for it if I prioritize the time for it. I don't know. I think that I want to start prioritizing that kind of, like, happiness in my days and having just a little bit more of a positive outlook in my life and bringing people into my life who give me happiness. I realize I really hope this hasn't just been the sounds of my laundry bag the entire video. If it is, I apologize. I want to have, like, more just happy memories and moments, because those are the stories I'm going to tell people, and that's the fun things I'm going to reminisce on. Like, I'm not going to reminisce on all the hours of college I studied. And I do hope to get, like, a good degree and some success out of college, but not at the expense of my entire life. And so, in talking with my therapist, she was like, talk about, or, like, write about or figure out kind of what gives you joy and why is that important, because you have to, like, identify why something is important before you pursue it, because otherwise you're not going to want to pursue it. And so I think that I need to, this is why I break my laundry bag. There's so much laundry. But I need to just focus on what gives me joy and not at all what can I put on my resume. Because I was thinking back too, and I'm like, I remember when I used to, like, run and do track, and it was, oh my gosh, the best experience of my life. It was so much fun. I absolutely adored track. And yeah, now it looks really great on the resume if you're, like, a really good runner, but it's like, that wasn't why I was doing it. And I want to have the reason I'm doing stuff be, it brings me joy, not because I'm constantly seeking validation from other people to verify, like, oh, I'm doing the right thing because other people think I'm doing the right thing. Like, that's not why I want to do the things I'm doing in life. That is bag 1 of 2. Should I wash my sheets too? I could wash my sheets. That would be a fun day. This is gonna be a very, very rambly video, so hopefully that's okay. The less structured format of this. But I was thinking back to like elementary school when I really didn't have this sort of like impending doom and gloom and like, oh my god, I'm never doing enough, that sort of feeling. And I was thinking like, what kind of brought me that? And I think it was that everything was coming from me because I was just doing whatever I wanted to do every day. If I wanted to go and play outside the whole day, I was outside the entire day playing. I don't know, do an arts and crafts project. Like, I could go and do that. It's like, none of it was, like, structured from anyone else. Both in the sense that, like, it wasn't, like, anything was scheduled. But it also wasn't, like, I felt pressure to do anything. And I felt, like, oh, I need to do this art project because I want someone to look at this art project and think this art project is great. Like, I was just doing it because I thought it was, like, a really fun thing to do. And so I want to do more of that and do more things where I'm like, hey, I really, really, really love dance. And if it never goes on my resume, good. Like, that's the point, is to not have everything I do need to be validated by other people. And I don't know, again, it's hard because it's like, you eventually need to get a job for most of us, and I hope to graduate one of these days. And there's just like, there are kind of a lot of factors that need to be considered. But again, if I, instead of getting a 4.0 GPA, get a 3.5 GPA, but I have the best 4 years of college I possibly could have gotten, like, yeah, I'm gonna take that anytime, because at the end of my life, I'm gonna be a lot happier saying, like, I had a really good college experience than, like, wow, I got 0.5 more on my GPA. Like, that's the point of life, is to fill it with really great memories and really great stories. What a conversation to be having right next to the bathroom. I guess also on the note of joy and happiness and its importance and all of that, I think that I need to better define how things are serving me in my life. And this one I journaled about last night, and it was such a freeing feeling when I journaled about this. And it was essentially, I defined what everything, that is not what I did last night. I did not just reshape my entire life last night. What I did last night is I looked at my life, in certain things that were frustrating me in some way, I just defined what they were in my life. So whether that was like a person who was really frustrating me, I could just be like, oh, they're just this. Like, that's all they are. They're just, like, I don't know. They're just a classmate. That's all they are. And it was such a freeing experience to be able to just kind of define that person by the impact they have on my life. Love it. But it was just so freeing to be like, oh yeah, that's really all that they are. They're just temporary if I want them to be. Like, I don't need to wind myself up into this like existential crisis every time I encounter something that's not ideal. It's like, I can just kind of say like, oh, like, and I'm sure it can go beyond just like a person, but just like, oh, this is my 60% I got on my midterm. It's like, okay, that's all that is in life. That's not the be all end all. That's not the like reason to study for 40 hours in 2 days. It just kind of putting everything back into perspective made me realize like, oh, things are taking way more energy than they should be taking. And I don't need to be giving so much merit to things that really aren't deserving of that, if that makes any sense. So anyway, I know it's a interesting short video. Oh my god. You know what? Sure. Again, this one just had to be squeezed in between doing laundry, but I hope that something good came out of this video, something to help you. I highly, highly, highly recommend, if you're feeling similar in any way, to do what I'm saying as far as kind of compartmentalize the things in your life that are giving you frustration and just realize They're so insignificant in the great whole story of your life. And also just realize that at the end of your life, nobody looks at your resume, nobody reads your LinkedIn. Everyone just remembers the person that was truly inside of you and the person who had a genuine passion for what they were pursuing in life. And if your genuine passion is something that doesn't make sense to society right now and isn't conventional and anything like that, it brings you happiness, then I think that's kind of all life is just trying to have the happiest time you can have. So anyway, I will see all of you next week. I hope all is well. I know we're a couple weeks into 2026. I hope 2026 has been a good experience for everyone so far. And yeah, I hope everyone has a really good week.